Namaste. This is Roger Thunder with Ancient Soul. Today we're going to talk about Tai Chi. Tai Chi is an ancient form of martial arts, but it is commonly used today for exercise and for health. The reason I'm going to broach this subject is because I think we could apply this to surfing as well. Now, I do have a book out called The Way of the Wave, Surfing and Yoga, which is a beautiful way to combine yoga and surfing and some of the moves, and meditation is also included. But today we're going to broach the subject of Tai Chi, which is actually a moving meditation. And again, like I said, it's a martial art. Now, I've been practicing Tai Chi all my life since, let's say, maybe 30 years ago. I first came into contact with it through the Taoist Sanctuary in San Diego, California, and I learned Tai Chi under the tutelage, or let's say the direction, of Abraham Liu, who is a Tai Chi master. Now, the type of Tai Chi that I learned was Yang style Tai Chi, and this was originated by Chen Man-ching, Professor Chen Man-ching of China. And so I learned the complete forms, and yes, I'd done martial arts before then. Earlier on in my life, I was briefly exposed to karate, and that was probably the first martial art I learned, and I did that for a while. But I kind of got disinterested in it. It wasn't really what I was searching for. So then later on is when I came into contact when I was going to acupuncture school, Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, San Diego, which was just starting out then, and now is like an internationally known acupuncture school. So I went through about a year and a half, 2 years of that, and included in that was exposure to Tai Chi and learning Tai Chi, because it's all about energy movement and Chi. And of course, that is closely associated with acupuncture and the acupuncture points on the body. It's kind of funny because when I first went to acupuncture school, my intention was to kind of learn all the points on the body. And my motivation kind of was for the martial arts, because if you know all the points on the body, then you can strike them or make an attack on a person's physical being through acupuncture points, and some are even, let's say, kill points, to put it bluntly, kill points. And this is what my main motivation was. But then when I got in there, my motivation changed because I was exposed to a lot of healing modalities. So I continued on, and again became exposed to Yang style Tai Chi. But before you even get into Tai Chi, there's one basic posture, shall I say, that is not only associated with Tai Chi, but QiQong, which means generation of Qi, or generation of the vital energy. And again, let me say this too. The definition of Tai Chi is the supreme ultimate, the supreme ultimate. And Professor Chen Man-ching was a doctor, and he healed many patients with the movements incorporated in Tai Chi. So let me. I'm gonna show some clips here, not clips, some slides, and we're gonna talk about hugging the tree. That's the name of this position, okay, or let's say part of generating chi position. And off of this position, let me say this right now. Off of this position, all the forms in Tai Chi can be accessed, or let's say added to, can be added to this form. But this form is the basic form that you need to learn. And this is a very healing form. It generates a lot of energy, a lot of chi, and this is a prerequisite for learning Tai Chi. So here we go, Zan Zhuang, standing like a tree. And you can read along with me here. When we stand, you are like a tree. You are growing from within. Your feet, like roots, draw power from the earth. Your body, like the trunk, is perfectly aligned. You are unmoving, strong. Your head is open to the heavens, like the crown of the tree. You rest calmly, the universe within your mind. So this is a illustration of a guy hugging the tree, and we're going to get more into the nuance of this and what you need to do. But let me just point out some things here that can get you started. So you see the feet here are shoulder width apart. Now sometimes you can go a little bit further than shoulder width, just depends on how comfortable it is for you. But the main thing is here that you want to be comfortable and you want to be able to let the chi, the vital energy, the prana, the chi flow through you. So you notice at the top you have a little dot up there, and that's the crown chakra, that's the crown of the head. Then as you move down, you have the hands in a certain position with fingers pointing inward towards each other. Now some people do a different variety of this, but this is like the one I learned. So basically what this guy's doing is hugging a tree. He's hugging a tree. And the stance has to be centered, center line. So if you move down just above the crotch, you see another black dot there, and that's the dantian. That's the place where you are storing your chi, or cultivation of chi. And then as you move down to the feet, you see two more black dots on the feet, which indicates a rooting into the earth so that you can draw chi up from the earth, up the legs, and also, when you do this, the tongue should be on the roof of the mouth. As I have mentioned before in yoga and meditation, this is a moving meditation. So putting the tongue on the roof of your mouth and breathing through your nostrils. And another important thing here with this black dot down by the crotch here, right in the abdominal area, is important for abdominal breathing. So I did a earlier video on abdominal breathing, but we'll review that a little bit here too. This is what you want to be doing when you're hugging the tree. This is what you want to be doing. And again, the arms could be in a little bit different position, but I'll talk about that with the next slide. Okay, so now we have, this is slide 2, now we have a side view of what you just observed. And you see the center line, in other words, the little perforated line that is moving from his head down to his heels, with the black dots on them. I don't know if my cursor is being picked up here, so I'll describe it in detail. I don't know if it's actually pointing out, if you're able to see that. But up by the shoulders, now you see here, you see here that he's hugging a tree, and he's got his fingers pointing in towards one another, and the center line has to be exactly that. So his feet, again, are shoulder width apart. Now the knees, this is very important, the knees don't want to be locked. You don't want like standing up and your knees locked. You want a slight bend in your knees. You want to bend your knees slightly. Now some people go real low into a more extreme horse stance, but that's not necessary to get the chi flowing. And it's actually more comfortable just to slightly bend the knees. Now, when you look down at your knee, the knee should be not protrude beyond your toes. Okay, you should be able to line up as you look down. You want to be able to line up the knee so that it is not overextended over the toe. And it could be anywhere further back as long as it's not extended over the toe. So your feet are firmly planted, like rooted into the earth. And you have a slight bend in the knee. Now as we move up here, second dot from the bottom, by the what we call QiQong area, the whole area around the abdomen from just beneath the rib cage to halfway down the leg, the upper leg is called the QiQong, Kua, QiQong. And that is very important in Tai Chi because everything moves from that center, from the Dantian, the QiQong, all that stuff. Now let's talk a little more about posture here. Now, as far as your rear end or your ass, okay, you don't want that way stuck out like some hot chick or something, or you don't want that way forward like a slouch, okay. You got to bear with my humor here, but what can I say? You want in between those positions. Okay, you don't want your ass way out. You don't want a slouch way forward. So you find that little notch right in between, slightly tucked in from behind, slightly tucked forward, and that's the area that you want to try to find. So your feet are flat on the ground. See the alignment here? Everything is in alignment. Then you have the shoulder areas. Let me talk a little bit about that. You have the shoulder area with another black dot there. And that is to be relaxed. In other words, you don't want your shoulders up. This illustration is not the best illustration in the world, but I'll work with it. You want your shoulders down. And I prefer myself to have my arms a little bit further down and maybe pulled in a little. But again, you don't want your elbows to be out to the side. You don't want to look like you're flying. You want your elbows lower. Let me go back to that other. Here's the other illustration. You don't want your arms out flying like a bird. I try to keep the elbows tucked in a little bit closer, like a real intimate hug with a tree. You actually have to picture yourself hugging a tree. Why? Because a tree has roots, and this is, the whole concept of this is to root down and to draw up energy. Back to this illustration. So, another very, very important point here, is In this posture, you want to feel as if you have a string or a rope or something attached to the very crown top of your head. This is very important because you want to feel like your spine is you're being pulled upward, but at the same time relaxing, okay? The rest of your body is relaxed, but you want to feel like there's some kind of stretch in the spine because the spine is important. That's where the chi flows. And so you want to pretend like you have that string on the top of your head and it's being pulled up. Your arms are relaxed. You're breathing through your nostrils. The tongue is on the roof of your mouth behind the teeth. You can kind of flatten it out. You can flatten your tongue out to the sides, almost like you got a little smile going. But it's real important to keep that tongue on the roof of the mouth. Now, what happens? Why is that important? Because you have a circulation up the do channel and down the ren channel. Do is in the back, ren is in the front. So that's a major acupuncture channel. And it's also featured in a lot of meditations too. The spine with the Ida and Pingala nerves, or the channel, I should say, not so much nerves, but channel. And that goes up the back from the perineum, okay, between the legs. It goes up the back, up over the crown chakra, down the front of the face, and then down the ren channel to the perineum again. So that, in Taoist philosophy, is called circulation of the microcosmic orbit. Circulation of the microcosmic orbit. And as you're breathing, you're doing abdominal breathing. You're doing abdominal breathing. Illustration number 3. Now here's another illustration. And this one I think is from out of Montauk Chia's book. And I learned a lot of stuff from his teachings. I got a transmission from his teachings and delved deeply into his books and teachings. Montauk Chia, a Taoist monk. Now you see to the left there, you see where the circle is, all right? You see that circle down there in the lower abdomen. That's where you want to breathe. And you got an arrow up and an arrow down right above the circle. Let me explain abdominal breathing one more time quickly. When you breathe, normally people breathe into their upper chest, which is very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. And they do this all their lives because they haven't known anything different. But what you really want to do is breathe into the dantian, which is your abdomen. And how do you do this? You do it simply by dropping your diaphragm down. And it has an accordion-like effect when you just drop your diaphragm, or kind of like push your lower abdomen, that part out. You have to practice this. You have to practice rising up and dropping down and holding your stomach in, or raising the diaphragm and then lowering the diaphragm by pushing your stomach out. What does this do? It creates a accordion effect or a bellows effect. So when you drop the diaphragm, instead of like sucking air into the top part of your chest, what you're doing is when you drop the diaphragm, it's allowing the lungs to expand, and this kind of like draws in the breath. It just draws it in and fills it up. Then when you exhale and lift the diaphragm, as you're doing this, you're just pushing the air back out. This is a very important thing. So you'll notice in this diagram here, his feet are slightly pointed outward. And again, where the circle is and where those arrows are all pointing from the circle, that is the Qua area, Kua, Qua. And you see that his feet are kind of his knees are kind of open. Okay, so a little trick that I learned is that when you're standing like this, if you apply slight pressure like you're trying to corkscrew your feet in, you're trying to drill your feet in, you're kind of like putting a little pressure, pulling the toes maybe to the outside, and your knees are slightly splayed. Again, let's remember here, the knees can't go over the end of the tips of the toes. It has to stay behind the toes. Now you have a picture, let's move up here, and you have a picture of the palms, the fingers facing one another, and then you have the heavenly eye. You see the heavenly eye there, which is the third eye, which is something you can open with the, let's say the flow of chi. Now let's move to the picture on the right. And you could see that how important it is to root the feet in the ground, because if you look at the little perforated dots, that's energy or chi going up into the Qua area or into the Dantian, all right? And this tells you here, on the inhale and the exhale, all that stuff you want to pull up on the inhale, and you see the microcosmic orbit there. You see the little circles up going over the top, up his spine, over the top of his head, down the front. That's called circulation of the microcosmic orbit again. Now this guy here, this illustration again, I would, on the side illustration there, I would have the elbows just a little bit lower. They're straight out here, but I would have them more tucked in a little bit more. Still, you still got the hands. You still got the hands facing each other. You can actually feel the chi if you point your fingers at one another and you're doing this breathing, tongue on the roof of your mouth, abdominal breathing, rooted in. You're going to start feeling chi move between the tips of your fingers. You're going to see chi move, you're going to feel it. You actually could see your aura when you do this practice more and more and more. You start feeling the chi and you start seeing the chi, and you can actually see, if you hold your fingertips out like that and your gaze is softened, you could see your aura jumping out from one hand to the next through the fingers. It's pretty amazing, actually. You could see it connecting. And it's so important also to visualize that you are hugging a tree. In fact, you try to become the tree. You try to become one with the tree. Now, the next illustration we have here is actually a picture of Montauk Chia. And there's, I think this might be out of his book. It's kind of neat picture. Now, this shows a sitting hugging the tree, only he's got his hands clasped. This is kind of a meditation, but you can actually, if you feel like you want to, if you feel like it's too much of a strain at first, or let's say you're just relaxing, you can just, make your spine straight. That has to be a part of it, and you can actually do this sitting down. You can do a version. If you're older, or if you tire easily, but once you do this sitting down, then you can proceed to the standing up version. This again shows the circulation of the microcosmic orbit, the little flames going around there. show the different acupuncture points and stuff like that on the body. So this is a nice illustration that I thought I'd just pop up here for a second. Okay, here's another illustration, and this is exactly what I was talking about, microcosmic orbit. Now, if you want to refer to these, I suggest that maybe you stop the video and take a screenshot. You know, if you're watching this on a computer, just go up to screenshot on the keypad. Go up to screenshot, take a screenshot, or clip it, or do whatever you want to do, and so you can have this in your library and you can refer to it. You should do this with all the illustrations on here. So let me explain a little bit about the microcosmic orbit again, and I'll read here. You can read along with me. The first step in working with internal energy is the microcosmic orbit meditation. This meditation trains one to sense, direct, and cultivate more energy. This meditation is the core technique to all the other universal Tao practices. The microcosmic orbit is the main energetic circuit. It nourishes all the channels and meridians in the body. Circulating energy within the channel removes blockages and activates more qi to revitalize the body. Through this practice, one learns to recognize what qi feels like while moving the energy through the governor meridian running up the back and the functional or conception meridian coming down the front of the body. This is the Ren and Du channels I was talking about earlier. The microcosmic orbit dramatically increases the quantity and quality of our internal energy. And it would be nice for you to refer to these, okay? And it gives the Chinese word for it. But let's just go through this, starting down at the bottom where the buttocks is, okay? And that's the sacral pump, okay? And you can see the Chinese term there. And then you got the kidney point, door of life, up from that. Prenatal energy storage and safety point, okay? So that's where a lot of qi enters in, and that Ming Men corresponds with the Dantian, which is on the front. And you could see by the little flames up there that this is where the qi goes. These little flames represent qi. And then you can, you go up to the heart center and you go on up to the cranial pump, which is just under the cranium and that soft spot, just under the skull there. And then you go to the pineal gland beneath crown, and then you go to the pituitary gland now you're going through down the front and making your way back eventually down to the perineum between your legs, and that's also called your first chakra. That's called your first chakra. And chakras, or energy centers, are associated with this as well. So this is a little illustration of the microcosmic orbit. Now again, this is a sitting position, but just imagine this standing up in the hugging the tree position. Let's look at another diagram here real quickly. So you have the breath out and the breath in, and this is the abdominal breathing that I mentioned earlier, okay? So as you breathe out, negative energy flowing out, that also gets rid of negative energy. It cleans your system. And when you breathe in, notice here it says abdomen rises, cosmic energy flowing in. Again, through the nostril, tongue in the roof of your mouth. So this is just a kind of a little side illustration as to show you what abdominal breathing is. Okay, we have another illustration here, and this I kind of liked this because it illustrates what I was talking about as far as roots going into the ground from beneath your feet. And there is an acupuncture point, right? It's a kidney point right on the bottom of your foot, which facilitates this. And then you could see it kind of shows kind of like roots growing up. And where do they go? Well, they go into his dantian, and then they also go up the back here, and then they also go up the front. So this is more of an artistic rather than an actual, but it's an artistic view of what's going on here. Now, this guy's doing Tai Chi. He's doing Tai Chi. He's doing movements, all right? But you can readily see here that he's moving from the position of hugging the tree. He's going to one side. His hands are in a little bit different position. But from that main position, hugging the tree, all Tai Chi movements spring from that. All right, you're just basically moving, and you're doing some stretching and doing some postures and doing some a kata or a form. And let's not forget, this is a very deadly martial art too. When done slow, it is more of a health benefit, and it allows the chi to permeate your body. But when done fast with quick lightning strike movements, it's a deadly, deadly martial art. So, and in that martial art, you do project a lot of chi. That's part of it. So anyway, I thought this was a pretty good illustration that I would include in here. Let's move to the next one. Now let me throw up this illustration of Professor Chen Man Ching in his younger years, and he is the one that developed Yang-style Tai Chi. So we can thank him in a great deal for bringing this to the West. And I'm not going to read all this here, but if you want to pause it and read some of this, is a statement that he made during that time. So I thought I'd throw the professor up here a minute, just so you could see who he was. Thought I would throw this one up too. Just pictures an older gentleman here practicing the hugging the tree, although his hands are a little bit lower here. But it's basically showing that his hands are cultivating his dantian. The Taoists have special names for when you cultivate the qi in your dantian. I think it's called the foetus, the immortal foetus, F-O-E, I believe it's F-O-E-T-U-S, foetus, which means like a baby. It's like you're growing chi, but they kind of refer to it, or they think of it as cultivating life within the dantian. And then again, here you see the roots coming out. So this is kind of fun little illustration. And it also goes to show you it doesn't matter what age you are. Hell, you could be 90 and practice this stuff. And what is it going to do? Well, it's going to rejuvenate you. It's going to bring chi in. It's going to... I won't rule anything out when I talk about this, because people use the term miraculous, all right? They use the term miraculous, so I think anything's possible. Even reverse aging is possible with this. It's all a matter of whether you can drop your ingrained belief system. That's a big part of it too. Here's another awesome illustration that I picked up here, oneness with nature. Now, you see here that when you move to Tai Chi, You see that her hands are not out in the hugging tree position, but they're more into, and you move this way slowly. I'm jumping a little bit ahead of the game here because the purpose of this video is to teach you Tai Chi or show you some of the concepts of generating energy and chi. But you see this ball here, it's like this is sometimes called the Tai Chi ball. And that Tai Chi ball is actually an energy ball. And if you really want to get down to it, that energy ball would be a little bit lower. And that would represent the energy in the center or the qua or an inch and a half below the navel, the dantian. And when you see Tai Chi movements, you will see that most of the movements are carrying this ball around while twisting your waist, while extending your arms. But you always want to have the concept of this energy ball, which helps you improve the circulation of the chi. And some practitioners, actually, there are such things called Tai Chi balls. Some are made out of wood, some are a little bit lighter. That you can use to do some practices moving the ball around and actually moving a real ball around so that you get the concept of the energy ball, right? That's what it's all about. So this is also an important part of the whole routine or the whole learning process is to recognizing this energy ball or Tai Chi ball. Here's another illustration I kind of like here. It's this person seems to be doing Tai Chi walking, which is something else that I might get into later. Tai Chi walking. And it's kind of cool because it's got the immortals there. It's got the spirit guides of the immortals walking with him. And guess what, people? When you do this, you're liable to attract benevolent entities that guide you in your practice. And I can verify this 100% because I feel them all the time. So I thought I'd throw this in too. Okay, so now let's do a quick review of what we've learned. We've learned to root our feet. We've learned that they're supposed to be shoulder width apart. We've learned that the knees don't extend over the toes. We've learned that the ass or the buttocks or the rear end or whatever you want to call it is slightly tucked in between sticking way out and being too far forward. It's got to be in that little slot right there. And then we got the arms hugging the trees with the fingers facing in. We got the abdominal breathing. We got the circulation of the microcosmic orbit. We got the shoulders relaxed. The chin is just straight. Your head's just straight forward. We got the simulated or imagined string on the roof of your head, pulling your spine up, stretching it up to allow circulation of the chi. And anything I left out here, I don't know, maybe. Tongue on the roof of the mouth, for sure. You got to get that in there. Tongue on the roof of the mouth. That's the switch. That's the circuit that you need to keep there. And I think that's about it. Okay, I'm back again here. So I hope you enjoyed me covering this this little segment here, this little series slideshow. We'll call it a slideshow of the concept of hugging the tree. And again, like I said before, you may want to pause the video, take a screenshot. Hell, you could even print out some of these illustrations, or you can go online and look up hugging the tree wherever your favorite place is to gather images, whether it be Pinterest or Google or whatever. And there's plenty of videos out there on this. This is for the people that want to learn how to incorporate this also into surfing, because I'm gonna That's where I'm going to go next with this. I've already done, well, let's see if I can find my book here. This is my book, Way of the Wave, Surfing and Yoga, available on Amazon, which I will put the link down there below. But you could do this with Tai Chi as well, because Tai Chi is a moving meditation, a moving yoga, and a standing up yoga, a standing up meditation. And this is gonna come in real handy for you surfers as far as balance, because in Tai Chi it's all about, now when you're in this position of hugging the tree, you're pretty much centered, you're pretty much planted. Well, that would be a position on the board. That would be a beginning position on the surfboard. Is this planted type, rooted in actually to the surfboard, or to the earth through the surfboard, whatever. It's all Mother Earth. But Tai Chi then shifts the weight. It shifts back and forth. So the preponderance of the weight will shift to one leg while the other one is outstretched or in a kick or something like that. You're balancing on one leg, and the preponderance of the weight is on one leg. And then when you put your foot down, you put it down gently. Tai Chi is like a beautiful ballet. It's like a beautiful dance when done slowly. But it can be done quick too, like whoa, just like that, Your hand moves out, boom, just like that. So that's the martial application. But on a surfboard, you can use the same motions, the same flow, the same twisting motions, the same motions with the hands back and forth, the same beautiful flowing motions with the hands, right, to keep your balance and to project and to bring in that type thing. So what I might do is, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole Tai Chi form, but I will show you different parts of the Tai Chi form that I think could be applied easily to surfing. And again, you're shifting your weight. It's a dance. And if you look at some of the nose riders, and stuff like that, which I've featured on this channel before, you see they're doing a dance. They're doing a dance, almost like a ballet thing. So always thinking flexibility here. We're thinking yoga. We're thinking the asana postures, which are in my book, and I've already shown a little bit in videos. We're thinking the yoga postures. So my theory is that if you have a little routine that you do the yoga first, okay, down on the floor, the stretches, the cat pose, the cobra pose, all those different kind of poses, because what's that doing? It's doing the same thing. It's stretching out your fascia and your muscles, and it's allowing you to have more flexibility, and that allows the chi to move as well. Especially positions like the cobra pose. But then when you get up on your feet, then you're going more into Tai Chi. Now I would recommend doing the yoga first, and then standing up and proceeding to do, because that could be your initial stretch, which you should do anyway before you do any Tai Chi or anything, or surfing or anything. That if you go from yoga kind of on the ground and stretching and doing all these things to a standing position, you bring that feeling of yoga with you. You bring that same concentration and focus with you. Only this time you're applying different principles of a moving meditation and drawing the energy up and distributing the energy and moving it around and being in balance. That's the main thing in surfing, being in balance and knowing how to actually levitate around. It's like it's almost like you're floating, all right? It's a very floating thing. The movement of the hands, okay, in Tai Chi are a flowing movement. See, out front of you, this is like hugging the tree. You have the fingers pointed towards each other here. I can do this a little bit. You have the fingers pointing toward, and the chi will actually, the closer you come in here, try this at home, the closer you come in to touching your fingers, guess what? You can feel the chi. You can feel it. All you have to do is be sensitive and focus, and you can kind of feel that chi, and you can see the aura blending from one hand to the other, and you can see it all flowing in a circle, that type thing. So this is hugging the tree. This is the pose. And I don't have my arms out way out like this. I kind of have them tucked in. That's what I was talking about, or kind of tucked in. Kind of an intimate embrace with the tree. There you go. So I think I covered everything here. Let me flash up this real quick here. Let me see what I also is. Ancient Soul Surfing Association. The link to that will be in the description below, along with my book, The Way of the Wave. So I guess I'll leave it there. I hope I didn't leave anything out, but I gave you enough to work with. I know that. And I hope you enjoy this video and pass it around to other people that might enjoy it. Like it and subscribe and all that good shit. Gotta say that every time. Like, people don't know enough to do that themselves, but oh well. Anyway, this is Thunder. I'm out of here. I think I'm gonna go do some Tai Chi. Later on, people.